The year was 1971. The place, San Rafael, California. The time, 4:20 p.m. What began as a convenient time to smoke some weed behind the school once detention let out has exploded into a full-blown holiday that's all about the culture of cannabis. On April 20th, people around the world celebrate the phenomenon of 420 by lighting up, mellowing out, and of course, getting the munchies. An Attack of the Show is there every step of the way. We've traveled the globe, from Amsterdam to Jamaica, even down under to the land of Oz, to find the stickiest of the icky. Hey, smoke 'em if you got 'em. It's Attack of the Show's 420 special.
Attack. Attack of the Show. Attack.
Yes, sir, yes, sir. Welcome to Attack of the Show, TV's only source for all the stuff you care about. My name is Kevin Pereira, and this... Thank you. Thank you. They like the graphics. One more applause coming up here, because this is Attack of the Show's 420 special, everybody. Over the past few years, we've taken you to Amsterdam and Jamaica for this global celebration of marijuana. This year, there's even more to celebrate as additional states here in the U.S. move to decriminalize and some maybe even legalize the marijuana. No more cuffs. We'll give you all the information that you're jonesing for, the legal and medical status of what is most likely your favorite plant ever. Sorry, Ficus. So close. On the show today, we'll take you to Amsterdam for the Cannabis Cup, where the best pot growers in the world match their herb against each other for the chance to get you really, really messed up. Plus, I went to Australia on a bit of a pot fact-finding mission, and I, in fact, found plenty of pot. Thank you. I'll take you to a hippie town, and we'll go to Sydney to find out what went wrong with Australia's legalization movement, which was just voted down by a razor-thin margin. Stupid razors. And Olivia counts down her top 5 moments from 4/20/2008 with new, never-before-seen footage. Then later, Allison Hayslip goes to Oaksterdam, which is like Amsterdam, but with more Raiders fans and less bicycles. Northern California has started a marijuana university, and we are going to enroll. And before the end of the day, we'll discuss pot's chances in the courts and at the ballot boxes. Will marijuana ever get legalized here? The Loop will try to see past the haze and into the future. But speaking of hazy, let's welcome my co-host. He's going to drop by any second, the mayor of Marijuana Town. I was being figurative. Doug Benson, everybody! Hi, sir.
Thank you.
Welcome to the old show. Hey, pleasure to have you here. Why, of all days, Doug, did you decide to, on the old 420, come to Attack of the Show?
Oh, well, because it is Hitler's birthday, Kevin.
Yes, it is. So, did you get anything for Hitler?
Yeah, I bought him a copy of Valkyrie, due on video any day now. Video? DVD, I meant.
Get the laser disc and flip it.
I bought him a beta version of a movie that just came out last year.
Nice of him. Nice of him. Now, the pot capital of the world is unquestionably Amsterdam. You're not going to question it, right?
I am not here to question.
Good.
Go, Kevin.
And every year, High Times magazine hosts the contest to find the best strain of marijuana. So here's what went down at the 21st annual Cannabis Cup. The 21st Annual Cannabis Cup, held in Amsterdam, is a harvest festival where man and Mother Nature work in harmony to yield some of the best strains of marijuana ever. Conceived in 1987 by a High Times editor, this event has fully blossomed, celebrating everything from bongs to buds. Thousands of people come from all over the world to have their mind-blowing weed judged, not just for bragging rights, but for the honor of hosting the prestigious Golden Cannabis Cup trophy.
Anything nice, I make the people feel sweet.
It's like the Academy Awards of Marijuana. It's the preeminent award you can win for breeding cannabis plants. Every kind of company comes to the Cannabis Cup. It doesn't matter whether you're selling seeds, you got a coffee shop, you got hemp products for sale. This is where the newest innovations in marijuana style, culture emerge here first.
Anything nice, I make the people feel sweet.
In order to judge the coffee shop weed, the 2,000 judges that are here have to go to the coffee shops. When they've decided what their favorite coffee shop weed is, they all vote. And we tabulate all the votes. And at the end, the winner is given the Cannabis Cup.
This year's competition is fierce, with dozens of coffee shops and seed companies vying for the top prize. It'll take botanical know-how and cross-breeding pollination skills to sway the judges.
This year we're entering a total new strain. It's a new hybrid. It's a cross between Lemon Skunk and Super Silver Haze. Super Silver Haze was the big winner for 97, 98, 99. And it's called the Super Lemon Haze. Full of resin, very high in THC, 22%. It gives the high of the Super Silver Haze and the sweet taste of the Lemon Skunk.
Amsterdam-based seed companies have taken the top spot for a majority of the cups, but California growers are trying to change that.
The fear is with the big guys because we're the little company coming up and we've been coming up fast. And so for us, we're still having fun. But I think the big guys are getting a little nervous.
We've been representing 5 years now here at the Cannabis Cup. We're bringing LA strains, California love, to Amsterdam. We feel it's a little watered down and all the strains are old.
Our coffee shop entry this year is going to be Marcia Mean Green from the Gray Area. Well, Marcia Mean Green is a cross between Shark's Breath and G13 Haze Male. It has a little sativa edge to it. It's 60-40 sativa indica ratio. It doesn't slam you like an indica where you want to go pass out, and that's what we look for in an herb.
After 5 days of rigorous judging, the competition culminates into an evening of smoke-filled libations and bated breaths.
The winner of the Cannabis Club is the Greener.
The most prestige cup there is, the Cannabis Cup, of course. I want to thank everybody who voted for the Super Lemon Haze. Where are you? Yay!
The party is just getting started for our victors. Until the next harvest hopefuls are ready to challenge their reign, the cup belongs to them.
Everyone was smoking joints in that competition. Whatever happened to the noble bong?
Your faithful, trusty steed? You get sound like a yellow lab.
Where's that at?
They're tough to travel with. Have you ever tried to keister one through the security at LAX?
You know, Kevin, you can make a bong out of anything. I can make one in 30 seconds. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Pretty confident there, huh, Benson?
Yeah, I'm
All right.
throwing down the gauntlet.
Well, it's interesting because we happen to have these tables of junk right over there.
Oh, that worked out good.
If you want to do a little Bobby Flay throwdown.
Let's go for it.
It's a bong off.
There we go. What do we have here? Nice.
Just a little pre-game.
Mine won't open.
Can we get 30 seconds on the clock, please?
Oh,
a green
here we
30
go.
seconds. Thank you. All right. Good luck, Sir Benson.
Good luck to you. I don't need it.
2, 1, bong off.
I'm in the middle of the bong off. Hang on.
Okay, I got it. I could probably smoke something through this if I tried. I could really. What?
It's not my best work, but it'll do.
You're a skilled craftsman, sir. Well done. I give that to you.
Thank you.
I don't know how that's possible with. It's fine. It's fine. Still ahead, Allison Hayslip heads to Oaksterdam to check out the pot culture of Northern California. And can you cut the bass when you're cleaning it? Do you mind? And enrolls in some classes at the Marijuana University. It's probably better than that pottery elective that you're taking right now.
And Kevin goes all the way to Australia to explore some marijuana bushfields and learn about the nation's drug policy. That sounds informative. Stick around.
Like I said, it's not my pot.
Ms. Munn, possession of 4 large piñatas stuffed with marijuana carries a mandatory 10-year prison sentence.
Look, the guy gave me a pie and promised that there would be more if I just took the paper burros across the border. I mean, for all I know, they were just simply stuffed with more delicious pie that smelled very skunky.
You're going away for a long, long time.
Oh, that's actually perfect because it'll give me more time to reminisce about my favorite 420 moments from 2008. Like the mushroom tea house, that's my number 5 moment from last year. The subject of hippie anthems around the world, Miss Brown's Tea House is home to a famous strain of mushroom that the locals claim will make you see Jesus. Because I see a whole big tray of mushrooms down there. Wait, can you bring it in here and check them out?
So this is the shiitake.
This is Silly Simon.
Now, which one gets you the most high?
Blues.
Have you ever seen anyone have a really bad trip over these mushrooms?
No, just make you feel nice, like you're floating.
All right, we are making tea right now with Chef Burton. Now, how many mushrooms did you put into this?
I put about 8 mushrooms. Kevin wants double strength.
Oh, yeah.
It kind of looks like poop, huh? Like diarrhea poop.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you could have had some Pedialyte.
And there it is, everybody. A nice steaming cup of Mrs. Brown's tea. Well, you can't do that on camera. Here's to Jesus.
What is?
Look away.
Welcome back to Attack of the Show's 420 special. Now let's be honest, guys. Australia makes plenty of mistakes, right? I mean, the babies get eaten by dingoes.
Yeah, and Tina Turner fought Mad Max.
Yes.
Plus there was Kath and Kim happened.
Well, Kath and Kim's not that bad. I'm just saying.
But worst of all, they almost legalized pot.
Almost. Oz actually came closer than most places, so I went to Sydney to see how the dream went all wrong. I also visited a grow field that actually persists despite the vote. Marijuana culture spans the globe from Amsterdam to Jamaica to right here in beautiful Sydney, Australia, where the drug was once this close to legalization. So what the hell happened? And more importantly, where can I find some? Why is it that everybody I talk to, despite having every single characteristics of a stoner, including the Dorito stains on their shirt, they're just not willing to even talk about weed, let alone admit that they smoke it?
Oh, I think there's just that stigma that if you smoke pot, that you put into that category of a druggie. I mean, obviously, I am afraid of the law. I do know that it's illegal, but I'm not out to hurt anybody.
Are you from Australia?
No, I'm not.
Okay, so have you smoked in Australia?
Not yet.
Why not? What's the problem? Are you afraid because it's illegal?
No, I've only been here for a week, and it hasn't really been offered yet. It usually comes around. It doesn't usually take this long.
What's the state of marijuana here in Australia? Do a lot of people smoke it?
I think a lot of people do. It's not very hard to, find it.
Cool. So where can I find it?
Ooh, maybe I can find you a number.
Cool. No, seriously, where can I get some weed? Where do the stoners go in Australia? Like, is there a lookout point? Is there a Rasta row? Where do the potheads go?
People are just happy to sit out on their balcony with a bunch of friends and light one up. I think that's the most popular thing to do. I don't know if there's a destination or an actual hill or an alleyway where people go.
Finding weed in Australia is a lot like finding weed in the States. You just have to know who to talk to. I think your words will do a much better job of describing exactly where we are right now.
This is probably the last of the bush buds. Australia used to have lots and lots of people growing outdoors, but nowadays it's all indoors. In Australia, most cannabis smokers are in the cities and the suburbs, and they're very scared. They're just happy to get pot when they can and just keep it really quiet. As Americans, what can we do to stop what happened here in Australia? You guys were so close to legalization and medicinal trials, and we have those in the States, but for those who are worried about losing them or for those who want more, is there something that you think Americans can do? In Australia's case, we are, I suppose, behind the US. We're waiting to see what happens with Obama and whether that's going to make a difference over there, which will in turn flow onto here. You've got to get onto your senators and your congressmen and really push this. Taxing and regulating cannabis is the best way that will end this stupid drug war.
It was time to leave the bush and talk to a member of parliament for some insight about the marijuana laws in Australia. Is medicinal marijuana legal anywhere in Australia?
It's not. Medicinal cannabis is not legal in Australia. We got close to having a trial and we were a month out from it being announced, and we had a change of premier in New South Wales. He's very conservative, it's Mr. Yemma, and he just scratched the whole thing. All the evidence is that marijuana should be available for medicinal use. So we will keep pushing on that, and I'm always confident that we will have a breakthrough. We need to ensure that it happens sooner rather than later because people are suffering unnecessarily.
Well, Sydney once was a very weed-friendly town, but it appears that the man has beaten the people down. But don't worry, because there's hope. And there's Paul.
We totally smoke pot here.
There you go.
You know, legalizing pot is going to be difficult because potheads are really easily distracted.
Yes.
By pot. And then Denny's. I like the Grand Slamwich. That's my favorite.
Moon's over my hammy. Ironically, though, pot is sort of the prohibitionist secret weapon because you just keep people high and then they forget about things, you know, like court dates and responsibilities. We'll have more about the effort to legalize pot a little bit later in the loop. Right now, though, we're going to come back a little closer to home. I'm talking about Oaksterdam. Anyone?
Oh, yeah, I've been there.
You've had the passport stamped.
Yeah.
It's an area of Oakland, California devoted to our favorite medicinal herb. Did you say yes and then question your own yes?
No, I didn't need to get my passport stamped to go to Oaksterdam.
Exactly.
What are you, dumb? Allison Hayslip went north to visit the neighborhood of Oaksterdam and enroll in Cannabis College to learn about pot cultivation.
I'm here at City Hall, Oaksterdam, the cannabis capital of California, where Doug Benson stopped over on his 30-day marijuana binge in super hyming. Now, from dispensaries to a cannabis college, this town reeks of higher education, and who better to help me take it all in than the Renaissance man himself?
Let's do this.
Spread out over roughly 6 blocks in Oakland, California, Oaksterdam is becoming a haven for marijuana aficionados and entrepreneurs building a counterculture industry that is booming. The city boasts everything from patient ID centers and a gift shop to coffee shops and dispensaries. Oaksterdam fulfills all your medicinal needs.
Okay, so you've been here before. What's this town like?
It's awesome. It's like Amsterdam, but in Oakland. So it's Oaksterdam. There's been a few changes since I was here, like for instance, Oaksterdam University.
The school.
Where you can learn about how to, cultivate and sell and all things marijuana. And
Well, that sounds
I think we
fabulous.
should go audit a class.
I think we should too.
Let's crash it.
Let's do it. Richard, why open a cannabis college?
To help provide more legitimacy for the cannabis industry. There was a lot of people who really wanted to do the right thing, who wanted to work in the industry and do it the right way, but they didn't know how, or they wanted to get involved in the politics of getting it legal, but they didn't know where to start.
How long does it take to, graduate?
13-week semester course. We start off with politics and legal issues, and then we move on from there to horticulture, cooking, bud tending, dispensary management.
Let me ask you this, did the classes start on time?
Every class starts exactly on time.
All right, so Joey, where are we right now?
Well, we are in the Oaksterdam Grow Lab, and this is where students get an opportunity to do hands-on work with the plants, sort of follow them from start to finish.
So if you're a student at Oaksterdam University, you get to actually grow plants here in this room as part of the curriculum.
Yeah, if you come for one class on our weekend packages, you get sort of an introduction, get to see how everything fits together. If you take our semester class, you get to follow the plant from start to finish for 13 weeks all the way through harvest. Well, let me take you through the different stages of plant growth here.
So these are the baby plants.
As you can see here, we've got a number of cuttings all here rooted in one rockwool cube. These particular plants are the Hindu skunk. Next, we would move over to our veg space.
That's where you just chill and don't do much?
Veg out. So this is our dedicated veg space where we can actually take the plant, the new baby, transplant it, grow it up to the size that we want.
So we're here at the final stage.
This is our flowering hut, and these plants were just brought over from our veg space. The light cycle has been changed for them. The light in here is on 12 hours of darkness, which is going to induce flowering.
And how much longer until these become buds?
Well, it depends on the strain, but in general, it's going to be anywhere from 7 to 11 weeks. They reach their full ripeness, density, and resin production, which is what we're really going for.
Now that we received some insight into the cultivation process, it was time to be tested in our marijuana knowledge.
Can you tell me which one of these are more safe?
The vaporizer is.
That's right. Vaporizer's safe. That's right. It used to be people thought the bongs was the most safe. Actually, it's a vaporizer, then a joint, then a bong, then a pipe. You have two different buds here. Is it an indica or a sativa? Oh, that's definitely weed.
I think I have the sativa.
That's correct.
Yes!
I'm gonna guess this is indica. It is an indica. We got two great students, the honorary degrees, Doug Benson and Allison Hayslip.
Awesome. Thanks, you guys.
So what do you think we get to do now that we have this?
These certificates are made out of hemp, I think.
Okay, pot class looked like fun. I agree, but no parent is going to be glad that their kid is going to cannabis college. That's not a bumper sticker that's going on the Aerostar anytime soon.
It's more of a safety school. Anyway, that Berkeley place down the road is the same thing, but with a better alumni network. You heard me.
Oh, calling Berkeley out. Now, while you at home are busy comparing those two colleges, G4 has actually been scouring the globe for the hottest and most outrageous videos you've never seen. The result? The International Sexy Lady Show. Yeah. It's part of G4's duty-free TV.
Together with a panel of experts, such as yours truly. Wait, that means me. We try to answer hard-hitting questions like, are German cars engineered for mud wrestling?
Finally, the answer to the question I've been asking since I was a wee lass. Don't miss the International Sexy Lady Show coming in June, only on G4, and be sure to check out g4tv.com/sexyladies for more videos and details, and I bet that's going to be the most hit page on our website. You know, gets a lot of hits.
You said hits.
Yeah. Still ahead, we're going to talk about this country's shot at legalizing marijuana in the loop when we sit down with the judge who actually helped create the marijuana tax bill right here in California.
Yay for that judge.
Yes.
Plus, we'll have more of Kevin's trip to Australia.
Oh, what did I do there, Doug?
You went to a pot-infested hippie town that sprung up around a drum circle back in '73.
Stick around, everybody. Attacking the Show's 420 special. We'll be right back.
No, wait, I'm innocent! I'm innocent, you can't do this to me! I'm a television host. Obama's gonna be mad when he hears about this. He's a fan.
Hey, I know you from my TV stories. You and that skinny fellow went to that rum factory, and you had on that real pretty dress.
Oh, yeah. Going to the Jamaican rum factory is actually my number 4 favorite moment from last year's 420.
What makes the Appleton rum the best rum out there?
Well, I must say, the bouquet, the aroma, the smoothness.
It'll also get you faced, right? Norman wouldn't answer that question. So instead, he put us to work extracting the juice from the sugarcane.
Come on, guys, we're not seeing the muscles. Looking good.
Okay, stop shaking the bamboo at me, I get it.
Wait, can I get a shot of how sweaty Kevin is right now? You guys see this?
I was working. You were just, this thing practically pushes itself. No, that's me.
I was thinking
That's me.
After the cane juice is boiled, it turns into a mix of brown sugar and molasses, which tastes sweet, but looks like what you'd find in a baby's diaper.
Oh, come on. Oh, come on.
Oh, really?
And after we were properly educated about the process, it was time to taste the rum.
Burns the sinuses. I like that.
Oh, come on.
All
right.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
It was my pleasure.
Kevin,
All
these
right?
are
Really, it was our
These are
pleasure as
great.
well.
All right?
You're really a great
All right,
guy.
take good care. Take good
You
care.
don't want to take them?
Yeah, well, we'll call the
All right, I'll
police
see you later.
afterwards.
Never
All
mind.
right?
All right, I'll see you
All right,
later.
guys.
Kevin says, eat me.
Iraq and Afghanistan aren't the only wars that America is currently fighting. The war on drugs has been going on since Nixon, and marijuana has been a prime target. But now 13 states have decriminalized it to varying levels, and some are predicting that the Obama administration might finally decriminalize it on a federal level. Is it time to end marijuana prohibition? We're going to investigate the subject right now in The Loop. Joining me from Irvine, California to help us make sense of it all, a recently retired Orange County Superior Court judge and author of Why Our Drug Laws Have Failed and What We Can Do About It, Judge Jim P. Gray is here. Welcome, Your Honor. How are you?
Well, it's nice to be with you, and it's good to talk about this important topic.
Now, Jim, you're part of a growing coalition of civil servants who are advocating the legalization of marijuana. What exactly brought you to this decision?
Well, you look back over my professional life, and I was a former drug warrior in the United States Attorney's Office, a federal prosecutor in Los Angeles, been a judge for 25 years in the trial court here in Orange County, California, and you just look back over that time period and see, are we in better shape today because of these efforts or not? And the answer clearly is no. It depends how you might describe what our goals are, but if our goal is fewer crimes, less drugs available for our children, more civil liberties, or on and on, we're just not doing it well. So I came to that realization and decided, you know something, a conservative judge in a conservative county who has never used marijuana or any other illicit drug can at least get people to discuss the issue. So I've been doing this for a number of years now, and we're making progress because people are beginning to discuss it, and, of course, because of the huge violence that's now spilling over into our country from Mexico and other places. So people are now receptive to the discussion. It's time to talk sense. It's time to realize that we have options to this failed and hopeless policy of drug prohibition, and then it's time to start utilizing some of those options.
Well, Jim, with regard to this war on drugs, you write in your book that the drug war is, quote, wasting unimaginable amounts of our tax dollars. It's increasing crime and despair and severely and unnecessarily harming people's lives. But I mean, there has to be some sort of upside to this war for it to have been going on for so long.
I would have to ask you and our viewers. You tell me, think of one positive thing that's come out of drug prohibition. I can't think of anything positive from this terribly harmful prohibition that we have been foisted upon ourselves.
Well, here in California, Assemblyman Tom Amiano is actually trying to legalize marijuana. And what would this bill that he's proposed, what would that actually do?
It's Assembly Bill 390, and it would basically directly treat marijuana like alcohol. However, there's a proviso in it that will only go into effect 30 days after the federal government changes its laws, because this would now be a violation of federal law. But he talks about several things. Number one, he talks about taxing the stupid stuff. And when I was at the press conference with Mr. Amiano, the chair of the State Board of Equalization in California also was there, a lady named Betty Yee, and she said that her government had looked forward through this and had determined that we could generate tax revenue of at least $1.3 billion every year in the state of California alone. So those are funds that are not being taxed at the moment. Of course, we would have to decrease the price by at least half to drive the illegal drug dealers out of business. But even so, $1.3 billion would be quite a difference. He also recognizes that we're now spending in California taxpayer money of at least $1 billion every year in a futile effort to eradicate marijuana, as well as prosecute and incarcerate nonviolent marijuana offenders. And of course, you can tell how successful we are in eradicating marijuana, because today it's the largest cash crop in the state of California. As I tell people, grapes is number 2, but marijuana is number 1. So it's fully available. Let's just recognize that. Let's utilize it. Let's regulate it, control it, and tax it, and we'll be an awful lot better off.
Jim, finally, because we're running out of time, I need to bring up the disaster scenario here for my mother, who's very concerned. Let's say marijuana does become legal here in California or even nationally. What happens next? I mean, are we going to see Amsterdam-style cafes in the public? Are Camel and Marlboro, are they going to be selling it out of the 7-Elevens next to the Slurpees? What about the kids, Jim?
Sure. Well, and fair enough. You know, what we should do is, again, go to allow each state to choose the best way for its people. So then if Kansas comes up with something that doesn't work, but Nebraska comes up with something that does, Kansas will tend to go toward Nebraska's approach. I envision where it will be regulated and controlled for adults, brown packaging. The government has to own it so that there's no advertising. That's key, because if Philip Morris owned this or stuff, they would have a First Amendment right to advertise, to push it over the airwaves, which I certainly do not want to do. But we're not going to be a nation of zombies under any circumstances, and basically people will experience, in my view, that effect that they have realized in Holland, where they've made it boring. So they've taken the profit motive out of it, they've taken the glamour out of it, and then a lot of people will find out, this just isn't for me. Some of the people will come down the ladder, and instead of using cocaine or alcohol, might decide to use marijuana. In a lot of ways, that would be a good thing, because marijuana is less harmful than the drug I use, which is basically wine. So I don't envision a problem with this. Once the novelty wears off, I think that people will basically kind of treat it in a humdrum sort of way, and then knowing that they'll be held accountable for their actions if they drive a motor vehicle or otherwise, it'll become pretty much a medical health problem instead of a criminal justice problem. And I think your mother will be pleased with the results.
Well, Jim, on behalf of my mother, myself, and our viewers, I want to thank you so much for your time and your well-reasoned thoughts. We really appreciate it. Judge Jim Gray, thank you for keeping us in the loop.
Good luck to us all. I wish you well.
Right now, let's go on over to Doug.
Stay tuned because we're going to head back to Australia. Not that Baz Luhrmann movie, the actual place. This time, Kevin checks out a small stoner shanty town on the north coast that has a police force that hands out free drugs. Yeah, for realsies. That's my kind of town. Stick around.
Oh, prison sucks. It smells like poop. Don't have any pie. Bertha, come rub Daddy's feet.
I don't want to.
Bertha! Oh, who's my pretty bitch now, huh?
God, I don't deserve this.
And I didn't deserve to learn Jamaican slang, but I did, Bertha. I did. That's my number 3 moment from last year's 420.
Now, the official language of Jamaica is English. But I think if you want to hang with the locals, you need to know some official Jamaican slang. If you say, what's going on in Jamaica, you're not going to get an answer. So you better be able to say, why go on? Why go on with you?
You see me, you know, but then I go and chill, you know?
Yeah,
because life just one way. And life comes before everything. You see me, I deal with? So that's why I'm telling you, say, today I go and chill. I watch it for the Gideon. You see me, I deal with? Yes, sir. Rastafari, Emperor, the King Selassie. Majesty, you see me, I deal with? Ruled entirely every cribs and corner, the 4 corners of the earth. Ruled by Emperor, the King Selassie.
So now you know what's going on. It's Irie going down right here in Jamaica. I'm about to hit a, you know, a Ross party. Peace.
Doug, while I was down under, I learned that there are good Australians, and then there are bad Australians.
Yeah, good Australians go to Nimbin to smoke pot, and bad Australians go to Nimbin to take the pot away from the good Australians.
Precisely. Here's a look at my trip to a small town of free thinkers that just want to smoke some pot in peace.
Oi, bloody hell! We're in Nimbin! It's a little hippie hideout in the middle of Australia where for many stoners, this is their last stand. It's a hippie commune where you're supposed to live and love freely and, of course, smoke a metric ton of the finest weed. Nimbin just didn't appear overnight, did it? How did it actually start?
It's a good story. In 1973, the Australian Union of Students wanted to have a Back to the Earth festival. They sent trainloads of students from Melbourne and Adelaide and Sydney. It became an international event. They bought the land where they had it, and it never looked back.
What brings you to sunny old Nimbin today?
We're just here visiting Byron Bay for a couple of days, so I thought we'd come up to Nimbin to see what all the fuss is about.
But you weren't here for the weed, though, right? You're here for the coffee and the cookies.
Yeah, that's right, yeah, for the coffee.
Oh, well, like, as being Australian, like, you've always heard about it, you know, it's a place to come get stoned, I guess, and, you know.
You guess? I mean, no, there's a giant papier-mâché bong 20 feet away from us. This is where you come to get stoned.
And we have this Mardi Gras first month. They made 10,000 people come. For the first 10 Mardi Grasses, we had a handful of cops. Everyone smoked weed openly. Nimbin got this big reputation. Suddenly, we've got 5 CCTV cameras live to the cop shop and 9 cops, and they've changed tactics totally. It's like they're the leftovers from Afghanistan, search and destroy missions.
Come on, don't give them what they want. They want us to riot.
A year ago today, there was a bit of a raid on Nimbin.
Bit of a raid? Mate, we had an April Fool's Day gig organised. I'm sitting out the back, you know, we thought it was the band arriving. Mate, the cops pull up, the riot squad come out with cricket pads all over them. Nobody moved. Freak out, totally.
What happened to commemorate this bit of a raid, as I call it, a year later here in Nimbin?
Yeah, well, we thought we were going to get our own little polite force. We had to make sure everyone had a decent joint.
Reenacting last year's raid, the fine folks of Nimbin decided that the riot polite police force was the best way for satirical justice to be had. And I soon found myself their target.
What am I being searched for? I'm just hanging out. American TV, I'm cool. I don't have any drugs on me. I don't have any drugs. Now I have drugs on me. Now I have a lot of drugs on me.
You have a brilliant day.
Thank you, I will. Well, if there's one thing we've learned here today, it's that A, the hippies were right, and B, there still is hope for marijuana in Australia, and its name is Nimbin. Excuse me.
of shirtless bikers, Kevin. Bad guys in Australia should look like the Marauders in Road Warrior. Yeah, Mad Max reference number 2, bitches.
There's I'm sorry, there's no Master Blaster, no Bartertown, no Thunderdome, just they had D-bag cops. Well, thankfully, the town itself is the kind of place where even Mad Max could find peace. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
A piece, yes.
2 joints enter, no joints leave. Because they've been smoked by people inside the you get, okay.
I am so with you. Still ahead, it's number 1 on our countdown of the best moments of 420 2008. Olivia versus Gravity.
Wonder who wins.
I have an idea.
We're going to sneak peek at Doug's movie, Super High Me. Stick around tonight, everybody. It's the 420 special.
So my second favorite moment from last year's 420 is when Kevin went to a super secret Jamaican pop farm. It was kind of scary, but also really fun. You people don't seem to understand something. I'm not trapped in here with you. You're trapped in here with me.
Getting your hands on some weed in Jamaica isn't exactly all that difficult. However, if you want to see the ganja actually grow, then you have to go off the beaten path. We snuck past pigs and trudged up a winding hill, but finally we had arrived. An incredible 2-acre ganja garden. I'm taken back. I've never seen this much weed in my life being grown. When did you get started?
About 6 months ago. This is the second crop. Right here I have 700 pairs.
Each yielding...
a half a pound.
All right, so Wayne, what's with the security system here? Barbed wire, fencing? Who are you trying to keep out?
Well, we just try to keep the goats out.
Just the goats? That's all you're worried about? Wayne, do you mind pulling back the tarp there? Bit of a green sauna in here. After growing for 3 months out in the field, we hang it up in here to dry. It is hot and smells like heaven in here.
The more people you use, the more problems you might have. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Big E wrote a song about that at one point. Wayne, thank you so much for your time, man. I really appreciate it. Chips off of your chest, you lazy bastards. Welcome back to Attack of the Show's 420 special. All episode long, Olivia has been counting down her top 420 moments.
And we finally reached number 1.
Number 1.
Yeah. Is there a cliff jump involved?
Well, I can neither confirm nor deny, Mr.
Thank
Benson.
God we're about to watch it.
He's right. No, it's about to.
Mr. Stingy with the facts.
It's right here. Just watch the damn thing.
Let's watch it.
Well, guys, that's the end of the line for me. My life had just begun, but I've gone and thrown it all away. You know, when I look back on this journey, I'm most proud of the fact that I had the courage to jump off that cliff in Jamaica, which happens to be my number 1 favorite moment from 420 in 2008.
Rick's Cafe is one of Negrill's biggest draws. It has spectacular views, wild parties, and, most impressive, this massive cliff right behind me, and the crazies who jump off it. Here we go, jump. With a tip or two from the experts, it was my turn to throw caution into the wind. Everybody knows that when you're on TV, you have to do everything. So I'm about to go. Is this when the producer wants me to jump? Are you wanting me to jump now? That's my producer. Oh my God. I didn't know it was gonna happen so quickly. Okay, I'm very nervous.
Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, go! Go, go, go!
I think I gave myself an enema. My ass is the size of a beer bottle.
You haven't lived until you almost died on this massive cliff. My apologies to my butt.
All right, so Doug, in Super High Me, was it more difficult smoking for 30 days straight, or was the hard part quitting before your little binge there?
Neither part was that difficult, but the quitting was harder than the doing.
Because of the whole not being high thing?
Yeah, that's a bummer.
Yeah, okay. Well, here's a clip from Super Jaime. Doug, what are we about to see here? What do we got?
I don't know.
Okay. Okay, let's just...
If I had to guess, it'd be me getting high, Kevin.
I have the exact same deck over there. We're gonna flip a card up, and you're gonna guess which one of the cards we're flipping up. And to my knowledge, there has never been a test done before which compares psychic ability before and after the influence of marijuana. And Doug, what's your guess?
I'm gonna guess star.
First guess is star. Second card, holding it up.
I'm gonna go square.
Square. 7 right this time.
Great.
The first time you got 1 right, so you've done 7 times better.
Well done.
Thank you.
Are you, are you still psychic?
Only when I'm remembering things.
What?
What?
Now, you non-psychics at home should allow the pretty, colorful, flickering images on your TV to continue, since G4's 420 coverage continues next with the stoner classic, Half Baked.
And after that, it's the world television premiere. Yeah, world. They wanted to show it in Germany, but they didn't get it. G4 got it. It's the world television premiere of Super Jaime.
My interest is piqued. What's that about?
Oh, it's just a movie about me being stoned for 30 days straight, all in the name of Science Kevin.
Okay, well, that's good. Thank you for
I know a dude named Science Kevin, and he asked me to do it.
Is he your dealer? Yeah, I figured. Slow month. It all continues next, only on G4. You guys check out g4tv.com/420 for updates. And please, huge, uproarious applause for co-hosting Doug Benson right here. I mean, really. Now for the all-important question, sir. If you want to take a walk, you want to take a little walk.
I don't know what that means, but yes.
Bye, everybody.